Slow moving.
What?
Inattentive.
What?
Dull.
What?
Shows a lack of motivation.
What?
Constantly snacking.
This is funny because he's fat.
Old woman! Man! Ma'am, sorry.
Oh, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen!
Tina, come get some ham!
Get that finger out of your ear. You don't know where that finger's been.
Woo woo! You're a freak with a microphone. I sleep in a racing car. Do you?
I sleep in a big bed with my wife.
Fuck it off! Gotta get a goal! Bernino, 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 Nick! Bernino! Come on, थोड़ा ही रह था!
Oh! Get to the chopper!
Moss! Randy Moss is in for a touchdown!
He shoots the moon to the fans here in Green Bay.
That is a disgusting act by Randy Moss. Who the fuck is that?
People need to be entertained. They need the distraction. I wish to God that somebody would do something to block out the voices in my head for 5 minutes. Voices that scream over and over. Why do they come to me to die? Why do they come to me to die?
Okay.
Welcome to the North Star Sports Podcast, where we continue to be the semi-pro of sports broadcasting, or sports talk, whatever you want to call it. I'm Matt Geffre. Alongside me, the one and only, the sports governor of Minnesota, Vince Wright.
What is happening, people?
It's another beautiful day in not northern Minnesota, Minnesota.
No, you're right.
I'm so used to say northern Minnesota still.
You're right.
It is a beautiful day.
In beautiful St. Michael.
St. Michael, Minnesota, which is the northwest part of the...
Let's call it the gateway to the north.
It is. Ooh, good one.
Gateway.
Or I like to call it the cake eaters of the Northwest, because we are the rich side of the Northwest of the Minneapolis, St. Paul area. So, no Justin again. He was originally planning to be here.
He was supposed to be here originally, but
he got sidetracked. He's doing transportation for his daughters for their activities, so that's why he's not here. We totally understand.
Yes, we do.
He has little ones that are doing stuff, and his wife's doing stuff too. So he's kind of,
amazingly, the daughters take precedence over the North Star Sports Podcast.
We get it, and we thank Justin for at least giving us interviews when he can. But he hasn't been to Vikings training camp this week, so he hasn't really gotten us interviews, which is fine. We're okay. We will survive.
Listen to you. You're griping because he's not doing his other job where he definitely won't be here.
But I need him here to do his other job.
And long story short, we just miss the kid. That's all it is. We miss you, man.
The miracle from Malacca.
The Malacca miracle.
Yeah.
The one and only.
However you want to turn it.
Exactly.
We do miss Justin.
Yes.
Because the show is not the same without him. Besides me going on tangent rants about stuff. And
Mrs. Tommy Boy.
Yeah, Mrs. Tommy Boy.
Yeah,
we do. He does great impression of Tommy Boy.
Yes, he does.
And, otherwise, normal out here in Minnesota, it's 70-something degrees outside.
It is an absolutely picture-perfect day. And it's one of those days where you wish people who don't live in Minnesota or actually this part of the country could be a part of to actually realize that it's not just 10 months of snow and below zero weather up here. You get beautiful summers, minus mosquitoes, of course. But, yeah, this is it's a great day, nice day to drive out here and meet you. And here we are.
Yeah, I love this time of weather. It's closing in on fall, and you can kind of feel it in the air.
No humidity today, no real humidity today. So it feels just beautiful outside. If you're a outdoors person or you're a golfer or something, today is your day.
True.
That's when you want to be out here. But yeah, man, we got the State Fair in 9 days.
Ooh, 9 days?
And for folks out there who may be out of our region when the Minnesota State Fair hits, that's kind of the calling card, the closing curtain on summer, because then you got, that goes right into Labor Day. And then at that point, we're really into football because you'll have college football going, and we'll talk about that here in future episodes. But, then you got NFL. And right behind that, you got NBA and hockey going right into their preseasons later in September as well.
Yeah, it's getting there.
It's getting to that point again where we're going to have kind of all the big sports going for a quick minute. And unfortunately for folks in this part of the country, that means that summer is bidding adieu. And,
it is.
Fall can be hit or miss. I like fall for the most part, but I'm a summer guy. I love summer. I realize sometimes it gets a little sticky with the humidity, but hey, I'll take that over a winter any day.
I will take summer and fall over winter any day as well.
Well, yeah, I'll definitely take a nice fall as well. Nice to throw on the sweatshirt when you're outside and do your walks and all that stuff.
Sure.
But
for sure. Speaking of the weather, like I said, it's going to get colder. It's going to get meh. Let's just enjoy.
Well, it's going to warm up this weekend, so it's going to the humidity's going back up. Summer's not done yet.
Not yet.
There. So, bring it on, man. Looking forward to it. Like I said, I enjoy this time of year because we've had some okay winters here recently, but these last couple and last year with February, just kicking us in the nuts with all that snow.
That it does.
That got old real quick. So I'm not. Hey, as long as the summer and /fall weather can last, I'm down.
It's also been a really wet year as well for Minnesota.
Yeah,
I think it has been.
Well, yesterday I was grilling dinner, and that's when the storms kind of came through in our part of town, out in the East Metro in Woodbury. And my wife got caught in a flash flood. We had family in town, so I was cooking dinner, and I was like, "Where's Angie with the meat and stuff that we're putting on the grill?" And I had missed actually 3 or 4 of her calls saying, she's stuck in a flash flood. Everything's fine there. But it's been a little wetter. The storms that have come through have dumped considerable rain, it seems, this year. And not a lot of, light sprinkles. It's, been downpours.
Yeah, heavies.
So, but... Again, if that means it's summertime, I'll take it. I will definitely take it.
It has been muggy as well too. I mean, I guess that's really kind of the norm for this type of year and this area as well too. When living in northern Minnesota, you get humidity, but not like, oh my god, it's dying like down here.
Right. Yeah,
you hit that 80 degrees and it feels like you're gonna die.
I could see that. We were in Duluth a couple years ago on a 90-degree day, which obviously rarely happens in Duluth because you're on Lake Superior. You kind of got that lakefront weather systems that come through and keep things cooler. We escape the cities and go up to Duluth every once in a while.
Yeah, every once in a while.
When you have the heat waves come through and stuff. And so it was very interesting being up there and experiencing that type of weather. But like I said, man, as long as it's not winter, I can deal with anything. I think I've actually started dealing better with the humidity even these past few years, just because it's like I don't want winter. I just don't want winter.
I guess I can understand that.
But
I can see that.
You live in Minnesota, you know what's coming.
That's right. Well, we have a few things to talk about today. It's not a lot. It's kind of that weird time frame where it's Twins and Vikings. We could talk about soccer.
Well, the thing with the Vikes is the kicker thing is really sent everybody's tongues ablaze in here the past couple days. But we're just kind of, it's almost you're in that steady flyover pattern right now. There's not a lot happening out there right now.
Let's hold on to your Vikings take.
Sorry.
I got whole things for that.
Sorry.
I know you want to get into it. You like to jump around the format.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay. So what is topic 1 here?
Topic 1 is going to be our wonderful...
Oh, prepare yourselves. The boys are going to talk about Twinkies.
We're gonna win, Twins. We're gonna score. We're gonna win, Twins. Watch that baseball soar. Knock out a home run. Shout a hit for me. Cheer for the Minnesota Twins today.
The Minnesota Twins right now are beating the Milwaukee Brewers 5-3, I believe, in the Oh, were they in the 7th inning by now? Bottom of the 7th, 5-3. 3 home runs already today for the Minnesota Twins. If you're listening on August the 14th, they're playing against the Brewers. It was a noon game, but 5-3 right now in the bottom of the 7th. And we have 3 home runs by, as of now, Rosario, Sano, and Garver. So they've been crushing the ball again. We just got to hope and pray that our goddamn pitching holds out.
Well, that's the thing with the Twins. You know, the bullpen, you know, we had a great turnout last night, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I actually stayed up and watched the end of that game. Glad I did. But here's the thing with the Twins. And tell me what you think of this, Matty G.
Okay.
They just don't seem to be able to either have the confidence to beat, you know, the
shitty teams.
The stellar teams.
Oh, okay.
The Yankees, the Braves came in here and you know, kind of put things in check a little bit. So you know, that's the worrisome part. Is okay when you're playing these playoff caliber teams.
Yeah.
What can you do? And that's why last night was so good to see them go into Milwaukee. I think they had almost 45,000 people at that game last night.
That's a lot.
I got to get out to that stadium. I've bagged
good
it.
things.
I've bagged it for years, but I caught some different camera angles of it last night. That's like, okay, if you can get out there and have the roof open, that's what I want to see.
Okay, so go out to the roof.
But I guess so. You know, bigger stadium, a huge crowd last night. Almost, well, let's just say a playoff type atmosphere. You know, a lot of Twins fans obviously made the trek over.
Border battle.
Well, you know, 5 hours straight down Highway 94. People, why not? I mean, if take a day or two, go check it out. But yeah, the Twins, they got to figure out the pitching because ultimately that's what's going to win games in the playoffs. I love the home runs. We love the Boombas, all that stuff. But look, I mean, like when I went to that Yankees game, the first Yankee game, I think by the end of that series, what did they say? The Twins pitchers, I think in those first 3 games, in inning number 9 alone, they gave up like 9 or 10 runs or something.
That was horrible.
I mean, that can't happen if you're going to be trying to get to a World Series.
Yeah, we can't have that. That's horrible.
And the World Series, when you are in this position, is always should be your end goal. It's not just making the playoffs. I hate to hear Twins fans say that.
But,
hey, you know, hey, let's just, you know, we get there, what they do. Nah, man, you're going full bore. Got to go for it.
My fear is, and like I'm kind of like the rest of the other Twins fans. It feels like we're gonna make the wild card, and we're gonna get our asses kicked, and it's gonna be like, well, we had a chance. We should have got more pitching, and you're not wrong. We should have got more pitching. Yeah, you're right. We should have. And you shit though.
Again,
we got 2 people.
Yeah, I mean that's always going to be the big question mark. And now we're just, unfortunately, we are kind of seeing it play out. And you know, as of the recording time that we're doing this, you know what, we're up a half a game on Cleveland.
Yep.
Cleveland made moves. Yasiel Puig.
It's a great move.
By the way, congrats to him on becoming a United States citizen.
That. Congratulations.
Yes, absolutely. Well done, Yasiel.
About time.
Yes. But you know, Cleveland made moves. You know, other teams made moves. You look at, you know, other teams, you know, even in the National League, my Cubbies made moves. You know, just everybody who's in contention did a little something. And now we're not privy to, you know, what happened behind the walls down there at Target Field.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing happened of significance, let's say.
True.
And now we're just going to have to hope for the best as it plays out. The good thing, though, Nelson Cruz sounds like he's coming back pretty soon. I guess just swing the bat a little less intensively. And,
don't try to hurt yourself.
Don't try and hurt yourself, but you'll be all right, homie.
Yeah. Wait till September-ish, and then go ahead and start swinging.
That. But the Twins, they got to get a little more rock solid pitching.
Yeah, we saw Parker got put on waivers. He got picked up and basically said, or no one picked him up, and he basically said, "Fuck this, I don't want to play anymore."
Huh?
So he got released.
Well, there you go.
Which is fine.
Play. Yeah, exactly.
Whatever. You're not gonna hurt our feelings.
Nope.
That's pretty sad when all the other 32 teams went or 31 teams went, nope. or 30. I don't know how many. Anyways, Boston beat Cleveland last night. That helped out. So.
Yeah, and by the way, that was another good game as well. I was peeping a little bit of that over on the Ford Letter, and obviously we need all the help we can get. We're in a dog fight till the end here, till somebody separates themselves again. So. Good start last night. Way to hang in there against a very good Milwaukee Brewers team, a playoff team, and a franchise that made it to the World Series just a few years back. So that was definitely good to see, and especially in that atmosphere. Yeah. So looking forward to see what they do tonight out there in Milwaukee, and if they can keep it going. I mean, it's just about winning series.
Yep, winning the series.
Winning series all the way down until the end of the year.
You don't have to sweep every time, but just make sure you win the series.
An occasional sweep helps, obviously, but I think they'll be in good shape if they can do that. Now, the problem is Cleveland has been doing that, crushing people despite that loss last night. So we will see.
I got the standings right now. In the American League, again, as of August the 14th, 2019, division leaders, Yankees, Astros, and Twins. Twins are ahead of them, obviously, because they are a division leader, technically. They're a game ahead of Cleveland, and they have the wild card spot.
Right.
Obviously.
And by the way, real quick, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that Houston team is scaring me still as well. I mean, again, World Series champion a couple years back, been in the playoffs here recently. I was real interested to see when they jumped from the National League to the American League, just kind of see. But, I mean, it has been nothing but success, for Houston.
For sure.
And speaking of making moves, when you're on the cusp of winning a World Series, let's go get Jason Verlander.
Yeah, well, let's go get him. And then,
learn from that down there at Target Field.
And then they picked up, obviously, Zach Greinke, which helps out a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for bringing that up. I mean, let's bring it back to the present. Exactly. Now I'm not, not saying Zach Greinke may not have wanted to come here for a plethora of reasons. And the Twins, when they did try to trade for what's guy from the Mets? Syndergaard. They wanted Byron Buxton. So of course that's going to be probably a non-starter.
A couple years ago, how he was.
Sure, you're all over that, but now, no. And so I understand that. That sounds like, unfortunately for Twins fans, that may have really been the only deal that may have been out there for them. But yeah, man, it is. It's crunch time. It's going to be fun. Tune in.
I know that Zach Greinke had a trade clause on his contract. There's only certain teams that he wanted to get traded to. There's only 10 teams, and Minnesota was not on that.
Okay.
So that could have been at that time when he did his negotiation. Twins are probably doing shitty, which they probably were.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense.
So that could have been it too. Why we didn't get him, but for Noah, we're not going to give up Bucks, especially how he is right now.
Exactly.
I mean, he's been injury prone, I guess, but when he's out on the field, he is fantastic.
Well, we've talked about this on the North Star Sports podcast, endlessly. When he is on the field, the Twins are a different team. It was kind of like when Torrey Hunter came back, that last year. So just that energy, positive energy, and when he's out there and he's got to find a way to make some of these great catches differently because he's hurling his body around and getting injured. But Byron Buxton, and now when he seems to now kind of hitting the ball a lot better than he used to as well.
Yep.
They vibe off of him, and then you throw in all these other big guns with the Boombas.
Yep.
I mean, it's awesome. So, and a very critical point is him being healthy down this pennant run as well. He's not healthy. I don't know if the Twins hold on.
He's we know that Nelly is okay. He's coming back. He's going to probably be taking swings in Texas, so he'll be all right. Byron's kind of. Don't know. Astudillo won't be back till September. Just a couple other players.
And this is where it gets interesting because, again, now we're going up against, playoff, tested teams. Cleveland and, obviously that's going to be the big race. We're okay for now in the wild card, but, When we slipped past or down from our first place jaunt a couple days ago, we fell into the wild card, and I think that was a 2.5 or 3 game lead. I know
something like that.
Mac might be checking that for us here, but
I believe it was a 3.5. 3.
Okay, but nowhere near insurmountable by any means, right? So, I just don't want the Twins fans to start getting, hey, there's the wild cards there. Let's win this division.
It's division or nothing for me.
Thank you. I couldn't have said it better myself. Division or nothing, and then from there, World Series or nothing. I'm not worried about deep playoff runs and moral victories. It's like strike while iron is hot and try and get yours now.
Because you don't know what players are going to be like next year. Garver, I think he's going to be your full-time catcher.
Nelson Cruz going to hang out?
I don't know. He has 2 years left, and it's a club option, so I believe the Twins will pick that up.
Obviously they should, but sometimes business dictates otherwise. I think Nelson Cruz will be back here. But,
I think so too. He sounded like that he likes it here in Minnesota, so I think he will hang on for at least one more year. Yep. Here's the remaining schedule in August for the Twins. They're going to be at Texas for a 4-game series, in Chicago against the White Sox. At home for the White Sox. At home for Detroit. They are terrible.
Yeah.
Then at Chicago.
Gardenhire might be on his last
I think
year
so.
out there.
I think so.
They only signed him to a 3-year contract. He's in the second year out there in Detroit land. Detroit obviously is a historic franchise, and though they're down now, they are one of those franchises that seems to rise up from the ashes and put teams together for playoff runs and things like that. But sad to see that for old Gardy's. I know after dealing with his cancer and everything, he was very eager to get back into the game. But.
True. So you have Rangers, in Texas, at home for the White Sox and Detroit, and then at Texas, at Chicago, and then at Detroit, and then that's for end of that. On
paper, that's a very favorable schedule for our Twins. I think that's safe to say.
Yep, for August.
For August, exactly, because, September is crunch time, but that's the opportunity. Can you find Cleveland's schedule?
I was just going to do that. I was going to go through the last part of. I was going to do September for the Twins. Here's for September for the Twins: at Detroit, at Boston for 3.
Okay.
At home for the Indians again.
Okay.
At home for the Nationals, so we'll welcome back Suzuki and Dozier. Then at Cleveland, home for the White Sox, home for the Royals, at Detroit. At KC.
Okay, well,
so there's it's favorable.
It's very favorable. I mean, you just heard it. I mean, Matty G just read it off. You have a very favorable schedule going into the end of the year, so you have to dominate the White Sox, the Royals of the world. And with Cleveland, if you can win a series, 2 games out of 3, 3 out of 4, whatever, I think the Twins are going to be okay. But anything can happen, and now is not the time to start losing to bad baseball teams.
Here's the August schedule for Cleveland: at New York Yankees, at the Mets, at home for the Royals, in Detroit for the Tigers, at Tampa. That's August. Trying to get September. At home for the White Sox, and then against the Twins in Target Field. In LA against the Angel, which they suck anyway, so they'll probably win that one. Then us again, Detroit, Phillies, at home for the Phillies in Cleveland. White Sox in Chicago, and then at the Nationals.
Okay.
So, I mean...
Twins have the more favorable schedule for sure, and you got to just go do it on the field now. I mean, we can sit here and talk pitching, blah, blah, blah. Let's just say this. And again, you're listening to the North Star Sports Podcast. Barring injuries, getting a couple of these pieces back, if the Twins are in a good spot. Yeah, I know we all missed the 11.5 game lead. I didn't think that was going to hold up anyway. We are where we are right now. It's a new season, and if the Twins can keep focus, like we just said, schedule's favorable, win these series, they should probably be in the playoffs as division champs.
Yeah, they should be.
And it'll be a close race. I'm not saying the Twins are gonna, all of a sudden get it back to 11.5. They may. Who knows? Happens?
They may.
But
and another thing, I'm not trying to be a Cleveland homer, but Cleveland still hasn't got their best pitcher back either.
No, that's true. And but see, these are all things to bring up. I mean, now it's very important to realize that. So that's the thing. It's going to be fun on the way down to the playoff drive, and I hope the Twins can do it. I hope they can do it in a fun fashion. This has been obviously a very fun team to watch this year. Yeah. Crowds are back at Target Field. Obviously, I mean, winning cures all.
Yeah, they're doubling their numbers.
Yeah, well, and also because we've never had a power team like this either. So we're on pace to possibly break that major league record for home runs that the Yankees set back. I can't remember when, but the Yankees have it right now. And it's just been a lot of fun. I mean, when you're hitting 5 and 6 jacks a game, what's not fun about that, especially if you win?
Chicks dig the long ball.
Well, that's exactly the point. We're not saying chicks dig the singles or,
no, the bloop singles.
Exactly. Not at all.
I try to remember, Twins, I think, have the second best record for attendance this year. So I think it's second or third, one of the two. But that's good. I mean, it's a turnaround. I mean, Pohlads are making money. Mm-hmm. Turn it into something good. Don't quit stockpiling these prospects. Burn some money. We have the money. Let's do it.
The time is now. We've talked about that on this show plenty of times, man. I mean, the time is now when you have this much talent on your team. Odorizzi's starting to maybe come back and get his groove a little bit. It's always going to be the bullpen now. It is all. That's your question mark with this team. When you are up 7-4, or a case like last night, where they came out on the top side finally, but you're up 7-4, 7-5, whatever that score is. In the 8th inning, can your team come in and hold it?
Yeah.
And that has been a big question mark the past few series, but let's see what happens.
We'll see what happens. One more thing about Twins. Is Romo the new babyface of the Twins?
Everybody loves him. What's not to like? Just for me, come in, do what you're supposed to. And like I said, hopefully that starts spreading throughout the bullpen.
Hopefully.
But no, I like the guy a lot. He seems to be happy here. I don't know what the contract's like.
I think he has another year left.
Okay, so we don't necessarily. Well, probably then this time next year we're looking at, depending on what he does, of course, but maybe re-signing him. But as of right now, this particular time, he has been a good addition to the team, and the teammates seem to love him. I mean. I've watched, like last night, was watching him, go through the little line where everybody's doing their daps and handshakes and stuff, and man, the team really seems to dig him. So that's good to see.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk some Vikings.
For these boys to have some sport talk about your meanies or the Vikings. Skull Vikes.
Skull, baby.
Skull. Well, the Minnesota Vikings' first preseason game has come to an end. Did you really watch any of it?
A little bit. I was doing some. I was almost going to say live tweeting as over at the purpleptsd.com site.
Oh, yep, that's right. Once you're doing something over there too.
I am a new contributor over there. I actually got to finish a story that will be popping here hopefully this weekend on another throwback corner. I'll just throw some names of some old Vikings real quick that you're going to be hearing from me anyway. Got some articles that I'm planning for Wade Wilson.
Ooh.
Here's a very interesting name, and maybe a little before your time, Geffre, but one of the first real dominant wide receivers for the Vikings, Mr. Anthony Carter.
Oh, what? Never heard of him.
Yeah, exactly. But here's my point. You don't hear of him too often in the annals of Vikings history. Do you ever hear of really any updates on these Viking shows and these pregame things that they do, Vikings from yesteryear? You very, very rarely hear about Anthony Carter. And people need to remember just how dominant he was, because then in the last couple years where then a certain Chris Carter came into town and joined him on the other side.
Oh, yes.
That was our original kind of dual threat, and people just kind of forget about that and how productive they were and how productive he was, especially for about a 3 or 4 year period for us here in Viking land. So I'm going to be talking about him. Wade Wilson, I got a couple other people in mind. Sammy White, who probably is most famous for taking the world's worst headshot in Super Bowl history from Jack Tatum. But again, Sammy White, when he was over there, and then Ahmad Rashad came into town.
Yep.
Another guy we're going to be talking about. I mean, Vikings have had some very interesting and very good players, from really ever since they got here. But, from the 70s where they dominated, where they won a division every year.
Yeah.
4 Super Bowl appearances. Yeah, we know they didn't win any, but they got there at least. And I just want to bring some of those players back. And then taking it into the 80s, the Darren Nelsons of the world. Obviously Hall of Famers like Chris Dolman and players like that. But, my first article, Joey Browner. Just want to bring back some memories about those players.
I think it's such a great idea that you have of bringing back the old memories, because I see nowhere else where anybody has.
Well,
we're
we're in a different time now. Everything's about the right now. So, in terms of talking about the old Minnesota Vikings, you're not going to hear a whole lot about it unless somebody's getting in the Ring of Honor or hey, today's little throwback TV segments on Ron Yeri. Dominant offensive lineman from the 70s, late 60s. Ron Yeri probably at one point may have been the best offensive lineman in football. All-American out from USC. I mean, we've had phenomenal players come through Minnesota, so that's where the idea comes from.
Okay. It's a great idea.
And I didn't mean to digress so much on that.
No, that's perfect, because I was middle of posting photos and stuff. So
then I'm talking too much.
No, that's fine, because that's what I wanted you to do.
Okay.
Because I wanted to get these photos done.
Because remember, he is also the producer behind the scenes. And that's the thing, like Geffre says, he really likes to be more behind the scenes, kind of peeping in here and there. But he's had to step up his game because our, old Justin's not here. But.
Yeah, because normally it's you two fighting back and forth, and I'm usually behind the scenes. I'm either talking and not enunciating right, or reading right, or whatnot. And lately, past I don't know, about a month, 2 months now, we've been together without Justin. I think he's dead. He's dead.
No, he's definitely not dead. He made it to my Rib Fest a couple weeks back. The hit of Rib Fest, by the way, Justin Ekstrom. Everybody loved Justin. Could be a new TV show. Everybody loves Justin. Everybody loves Eck. Everybody loves Eck. But no, he came out and actually had such a good time. He did not make it to TCO. I don't know if I should maybe say that on the air.
I will.
There you go. But everybody loved Justin. We had a great time. He's doing good. And yeah, we just miss him on the show, and we're gonna get him. We might have to actually go over to his house one day and then record a show. But
might have to.
But back to the Vikings.
Yes,
I watched a little bit of the game. Like what I saw, obviously that first drive, Cousins taking them down for the touchdown pass to Thielen. But it's the preseason, man, so I really don't try and get too wrapped up into it outside of people who are trying to who are competing for, positions. So that's kind of what I'm into with preseason. In terms of these scores and, hey, if the Vikings are, undefeated in preseason. I mean, we've heard all this crap before, and teams that didn't win a preseason game go on to deep Super Bowl or playoff runs, and
Indianapolis Colts,
and teams that have won. I think the Vikings went undefeated and a couple times and wound up having mediocre seasons. So I just don't put that much into it, but always glad when football is back.
In that aspect, I am glad that football is back as well too. But I really don't give a shit about preseason, especially the first week. I mean, most starters aren't really playing. They were playing one snap. They're for sure not playing the second week.
Right.
Maybe in the last week they'll get maybe a quarter in or maybe half a game in.
Well, isn't it usually the third game where the first stringers play the most?
Maybe that's
usually?
what it is.
And I think that's just right up to about halftime.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. And maybe the fourth game is kind of like, let's see what
let's see. Yeah, exactly. We got a few people we got to make decisions on. Let's give them their time to shine now, and we'll make decisions.
Maybe that's what it is, too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't care about preseason. I mean, I like football. I mean, I'll turn it on into probably background noise for me until the actual full season hits. Mm-hmm. When the full season hits, I tell Cassie that when noon hits on Sunday, I'm locked in. Yeah. I'm live tweeting. I'm doing all this. Do not bother me.
I mean, it's mean, I do the same. Sometimes me and Angie will watch the Vikes together. Mm-hmm. But to be perfectly honest, I am usually on the Red Zone channel.
Oh, yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Even with the Vikings playing, because I just love what that Red Zone channel is. And these people out here spending the big money on the ticket and all that stuff, don't do that. You can't watch all these games anyway, and that's what the Red Zone channel is built for. Teams on the drive, they're going to put that game up, and you can they split the screens. I mean, I was watching like four
games at one time,
and so if the Vikings are driving or whoever they're playing are driving, it's gonna pop up there eventually.
Are you paid by the Red Zone?
No, I'm not. But I love it.
Wouldn't have a problem if you did.
Not at all. if someone's listening out there, we'll take endorsements. But I think they do a really good job, and if you have the NFL Network on whatever your service is, you should also have the Red Zone channel. And for maybe a couple of you who are still in the dark, what the Red Zone channel does is it's called the Red Zone channel because anytime a team gets in the Red Zone, they put the game up live. It's great, obviously, for fantasy.
Yep.
Because that's what really you want to see. That's the point. Instead of paying for the ticket and paying for games you can't watch all, unless you got the TVs to do it all. This is what it's for, and so for fantasy players, all right, if someone's getting ready to score, you're going to see it from each and every game.
Yep.
And then at the end of the day, they show you every touchdown that was scored in every game.
And I had the Red Zone for a while on my PlayStation View because I have all that.
Right.
And it's great for that same thing, everything that you said. For that, I can literally sit with my bag of chips and a dip and a drink and watch everything I want.
Now, this is going to suck for me because this is the first year without my hot tub.
Oh,
Remember when we moved in, I had the TV in the hot tub room. And dude, I was a fish, man. I'd be in that hot tub 2 and 3 times a day watching football, or the TV's muted, and I got, something going on the Bluetooth speaker with another game or whatever. And man, let me tell you something. This is going to be a tough one to get through this year.
Cassie and I thought about putting a hot tub somewhere,
but
we could either put like
backyard here
or by the plant, or we could put it on the other side. But we have a association we go through, so we have to we see if we're allowed to with them,
right? Yep.
Because we could totally do it. And
I would do it. I would do it off the back, and of course, Playboy, where there's the most privacy.
Ooh, but yeah, that's another thing. We can't really have a fence either. We would have to talk to the association with having a fence.
Well, that's the fence part's okay. I mean, you can. For outdoor hot tubs, there's all kinds of stuff you can put up for privacy.
Okay.
Whether that's plants, little pergolas, things like this, stuff that goes around so people can't actually see you in the hot tub. But anyway, I digress. But,
anyways, let's get back to Vikings.
Yes.
Will Treadwell be released, trade, or still on the team when the season starts? And by the way, I'll throw this out there to you. Doesn't matter if he's cut or traded. Well, traded, I don't know about. Cut. He still is going to get that money that the Vikings owe him, regardless. No matter if it's at the beginning of the year or late when it's at the end of the year where they have that kind of split.
Well, again, people were iffy on his first game performance. Mm-hmm. He was apparently told not to use the crackback type of blocking.
Yeah.
And
old school.
Well, I mean, oh boy, got to get that taken care of. Sorry about those pops, people. We got to get mic protectors.
Yeah.
Here.
Well, mine's fine. Mine's actually a legitimate mic.
Oh,
Yours,
I got
you got the cheap one.
I got the cheap mic. Okay.
Well, I get analog mic for me. It was like $20.
All right,
$20-$30.
But with Treadwell, so he's doing some things he was told not to do. That doesn't go over well. If he doesn't, impress in the next couple games, I can definitely see him being cut. Again, he signed a rookie deal, so it's not going to be – I don't think it's astronomical in terms of what the Vikings would have to pay him. But also, too, I mean, it's I think it's just about roster spots, and they want people that can compete and do something. And right now, still doesn't sound like that's Treadwell.
No, I don't think
and it pisses me off to say that. It hurts me to say that because, obviously – what he was able to do in college and whatnot, but it is what it is, and I don't know if he's going to be on this team, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, literally, it's a coin flip. I mean, 50-50.
For any of those three on the team, traded or cut?
Any one of those? I mean, it's because, again, it's not so much how it happens, and, yeah, they may have to eat some money, but at the same time, you got to get people in here. You're trying to make a Super Bowl run. You got to get people in here competing.
True.
My jam.
It's all you. You're closing us out.
All right, y'all. I'm sorry I'm over here grooving with the cast. But keep it tuned here. We're going to be back to talk more sports, more fun stuff. Matty G, Vince Wright, the sports governor. This is the North Star Sports Podcast.
Gator belts and Patty Melts and Monte Carlos and El Dorado. So I'm waking up out of my slumber feeling like Rollo. So follow, it's showtime at the Apollo minus the Kiki Shepherd.
Can you stop seniling around and turn this game off long enough for me to study?
Son, this game is important. The Bears are playing the Rams, and if you lose to the Rams, you get thrown out of the league.
The North Star Sports Podcast on Twitter @NSS Podcast. More after this.
Hey guys, this is Sports Gov Vince Wright from the great state of Minnesota, and I'm here to tell you guys about Pick and Shovelware. Go to pickandshovelware.com. You're going to get 20% off when you use the promo code NorthStar. Get 20% off right now when you use the promo code NorthStar. That's pickandshovelware.com.
Hi, this is Dan Model, center fielder for the St. Paul Saints, and you're listening to North Star Sports Podcast.
We got to work tomorrow. Fuck it. Call in sick. Your boss says, you don't sound sick. Say, well, I'm fucking my sister. Does that sound sick enough for you? He won't let you come to work and tell him that shit. You stay your sick ass at the house fucking your damn sister. What the hell's wrong with you? I told you I was sick. Hell, I got up this morning, I had breakfast at Denny's. Damn near made me sick. You ever eat there? That is a shitty restaurant. Walked in there by myself. The hostess walks up to me and goes, how many? One of them people you just want to ask, what's it feel like to be a fucking idiot? Hell, maybe I brought 15 people I didn't know about. You ever seen a woman that makes you go, oh, shit? They work at Denny's. They got them tight brown polyester britches on with dimples in their butt. You don't even want to eat when you get in there, damn thing. Looks like they've been hit in the back of the legs with a bag of nickels.
Oh, jeepers. Why don't you like the North Star Sports Podcast on Facebook, eh? It is the most meanie sort of thing out there.
Not named for the sports team that left for Dallas.
Go for a goal, North Stars. Go for a goal.
This is the North Star Sports Podcast.
All right, let's dance the night away. Vince Wright, Matty G, David Lee Roth joining us as we come back to the North Star Sports Podcast. A little Van Halen for you there. And welcome back, everybody. We appreciate you tuning in. Again, I am Vince Wright, the sports governor, here with Matt Geffre, Matty G.
Hooray.
Justin will just say on assignment. And we
Works.
are back, North Star Sports Podcast. Real quick here, fun little list for all you wrestling fans out there. Came across this on Facebook right before we hit the air. So this is, I'm assuming, the Twitter handle at JimFailNation. I hope I'm not giving a bad site props or anything like this, but this a friend of mine posted on Facebook. It's the top 50 wrestlers of all time.
Okay.
Me and Matt went through it.
Mm-hmm.
Thought we'd have a little fun. So
Yeah.
we'll actually go in reverse order and just tell you number one on this list. We'll do the top 10. Matt did actually guess it right off the bat. Stone Cold Steve Austin is
What?
number one. Yeah, exactly. The Mr. What himself. I'll tell you what, man. As someone who has the WWE network, because I grew up on wrestling, so
Yep.
I go back and I watch all the old AWA stuff, the
All
old
classic
NW,
stuff.
yeah, all the classic stuff. But rarely has an individual worked as hard and been able to elevate themselves to that upper echelon of wrestling stardom than Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I watch all his biographies and stuff. I'm a huge fan. So
Yeah, and a great podcast, by the way. He's
Yep.
got a new show. I don't know what channel it's on.
USA Network.
There
I
you
actually
go.
just watched it
Oh,
before
okay.
you came here.
Oh,
'Cause
wow.
It was, I
Okay.
DVR'd it because I wanted to see it.
Did you like it?
It did. It's Day in the Life of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Rob Riggle was there for being a guest. And they basically
Right.
they were shooting guns, deep frying chickens.
Rob Riggle, by the way, most people know him for his acting and comedy, but a former Marine.
Yep,
So,
a 22-year vet.
yeah, there you go. And it goes to show you can do anything you put your damn mind to, man.
That is
to come out
correct.
of the Marines and now, because I watch him on Modern Family and all these other shows. But number two, the Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah.
R.I.P., sir.
Yes, indeed. Definitely one of my favorites growing up. Number three, Ric Flair. Mr. Woo himself.
Did you see his 30 for 30?
I did.
Oh, it was good.
Yes.
I did not.
Minnesota kid
Yep.
gone to the top and back down to the bottom, up to the top again. And, I hope he has a few years left in him. He's definitely been fighting some health issues here lately. But Ric Flair at number three, the immortal Hulk Hogan coming in at number four. Obviously, if you were a kid in the 80s,
80s for sure,
90s, and onto the NWO, the greatest marketing ploy in wrestling history, in my opinion. I still would. Hey, I'm sorry, and I get a lot of D-Generation X people out there would say differently, but listen, this thing shifted wrestling. Okay, D-Generation didn't do that. This thing shifted wrestling. I will never forget Bash at the Beach.
Oh yeah, I remember that
when Hogan came out there and Hall and Nash and he dropped that leg on Macho Man, and it was like, holy shit! Hogan's turning heel.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
And then to parlay that into the NWO, and then, obviously they go on and dominate for 2 years on the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah,
and all
for
that.
sure.
But yeah, I mean, but also again, being a kid here in Minneapolis, where Hulk Hogan came in the AWA days. I remember seeing him at a couple of All-Star Wrestling tapings, and again, just like, wow, Hulk Hogan, and he's there with Jesse Ventura and
Jesse the Bod.
Yeah, exactly. But Hulk Hogan, man, he was obviously at number 5.
Number 5,
the People's Eyebrow.
Ooh, The Rock.
The Rock,
the People's
himself.
Champ.
Again, just someone who has parlayed themselves into the atmosphere in terms of the entertainment industry. But The Rock, after a rough start, if people haven't seen his documentary out there on like the WWE Network or whatever, take a look at it. He talks about the first time he was on TV, he was actually speaking backwards. His back was to the camera. He thought he was facing towards the TV
I did not know
camera.
that.
Yeah. So his first kind of big interview, it's like he's talking to the crowd and his back is to the TV screen because he got it all wrong.
Yeah.
But The Rock, phenomenal. His dad, Rocky Johnson, You know, for black kids like me growing up, you know, he was one of the few African-American wrestlers. So, you know, props to The Rock and what he's been able to do. Number 6 is John Cena.
Can't see me.
What do you think about that?
I mean, he's a great marketing, especially for kids.
Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, him and The Rock together. I mean, yeah, that was
pretty good.
Shawn Michaels comes in at number 7. I think
that's not bad.
Not bad. I mean, he hell of a dude, hell of a performer. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Number 8, The Undertaker.
He's still, I don't know why he's even in it. Money? Why? He makes a shit of money.
But also, hey, man, how many... Here, cut that music for a second. Right. This is a very, very good point. Because you've seen wrestling documentaries.
Yeah.
Did you see the movie The Wrestler?
Yeah.
With Mickey Rourke? I mean, obviously phenomenal movie. So they just can't let go, man. I mean, that's a lot of adulation. I mean, think about that. When you walk in and have that power to raise that hand and 15, 20,000 people go ape shit. And just on whatever the move is and the adulation and everything. And that's hard. It's the same as any other sport. When you hear, you know, wives, he retired and now he's a big grump. He doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
He doesn't have hobbies. He doesn't, you know. This is all he's ever known, right?
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
He's, 56, 57 years old.
He's old. He's old doing like
this stuff. Exactly. Well, and that's the thing. And he's out here still doing this. And, yeah, you wonder why. I think that's why. And now, obviously, he's making a nice bit of coin still.
I know that Shawn Michaels went through the same thing. He had financial issues, too.
Well, and a lot of these guys do.
Yeah, because they spend it.
They spend it. And the way they have to earn it is hurling their bodies around. And that's just not something you want to do either. Okay, so Undertaker, number 8. The Hitman, Bret Hart, at number 9.
I can see that.
Always been one of my... I was a huge Hart Foundation guy as a kid. Him and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, rest in peace. Love those two. Mm-hmm. And to top out the top 10, Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho's been, he's been around the world too. I know he got a major start in WCW, and then came in WWF when he did the old Millennial.
Right.
And then kind of been, I think he was the first undisputed champion as well. Mm-hmm. Then you have, he just couldn't, he left the scene for a while, then came back. Then left, came back.
Right.
That got old, and now he looks like hell. He looks old and beat up. But he's with a new organization. And is it NWA? AWA, that's right. So he's with them, and he's doing very well with them.
Right. So I'll find a way. I'm actually going to save this picture to my phone. I'll get it up on the North Star Facebook page here and tweet it out.
Okay.
Because we'll spend forever talking about this, but a couple people after this that I have some questions about being inside the top 15. They have Kurt Angle at number 11, ahead of Roddy Piper, ahead of a Sting, ahead of a Dusty Rhodes, ahead of a Andre the Giant. You know, other people kind of further down the list, just to throw some names out at you. 33, Chris Benoit. Number 28, Mick Foley.
I was a huge Chris Benoit
42
fan.
Out of the top 50. 42nd is Kevin Nash.
Whoa.
A little low in my opinion.
He didn't. God, every time I see him wrestle, he didn't.
But
really.
You got to balance the now, because they have Brock Lesnar ahead of Kevin Nash, which in my world isn't happening.
No.
But anyway, we'll get that posted here. Like I said, we will be talking about this forever. Oh, by the way, number 24, and rest in peace, Mr. Harley Race, the King.
Oh yeah, he passed away week ago.
A week or so ago. All right, so. Where are we off to now, Matty?
Well, as a lot of you know, I'm a Cowboys fan. I grew up as a Cowboys fan. I am a Vikings fan, just not in the postseason. I'm also a Lions fan too. One pride.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't go one pride.
I went one pride.
Wow. Hold on. So we're a Vikings fan, we're a Cowboys fan.
Grew up
and one pride in it. We're now rolling with Lions as well. Lions, Vikings, and Cowboys. Oh my!
The former station I was on, KBUN, we did the NFC North Roundtable, and I drew the Lions, and the whole bit is I'm the Lions guy, and I have to go through all the Lions. So I watch Lions.
He's trying to
but I do like the Vikings.
Nonsense.
I watch the Vikings every Sunday, and I hate watching them on the postseason because it's a disaster. Same thing with my Cowboys too lately.
My Cowboys.
I do watch them because they're usually right after the Vikings. So anyways, I'm gonna get to like Dak and Zeke. I'll start out with Zeke. Zeke's holding out because he thinks he deserves to get paid more. He has that rookie contract. I mean, I get it. He still has another year left.
This is your segment, bro. I'm literally going to turn the mic off.
Okay.
Not that I'm upset because here's the thing. I'll just tell you very quickly.
Yep.
But I am very interested because you're the fan. You follow the team,
yep.
So you need to speak on this.
Okay.
I think eventually, probably in the first part of the regular season, I think this might get handled for Zeke. I realize there's other people in line.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing too, because I had a guest on my show a couple weeks on Sports Done Right. Big Ben Sudderth, by the way, what up to you? Out of Dallas, Texas, and we talked about this. And one of the things that the press was talking about is how Jerry Jones is, first off, how him and Stephen Jones are talking very complimentary, very calm. You know, they're not blowing up. They're not losing their cool. And, you know, and notice the things Jerry's saying as well. Well, hey, you know, I mean, we can get to a Super Bowl without, you know who here and this and that. So, and also the other two guys that you're going to speak on are in camp.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the other guys that are up, and you know, the quarterback, they're in camp.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of under, everybody's all hunky-dory over there, and you have this one guy down there in Cabo doing their thing. So anyway, I digress. What do you say about
literally
your Cowboys?
You basically said what I was going to say. I can give two shits less where he's at. He can get traded. I don't care. Running backs are a dime a dozen. You can find any running back you really want. You have
that's what Jerry is trying to say in a very nice way.
And you have a great offensive line. So Emmitt Smith, that was the example he used. He was a great running back. Yeah. But what helped him even more, a Hall of Fame running back, was the offensive line he had.
So I think, you know, eventually it'll get taken care of. But and then also too, I think the other guys will get theirs. You know, you're the Cowboy person. Do you want to see Prescott go elsewhere?
You know what? I get what he's trying to do. I mean, I don't think he's worth that much. He turned down a 30. When I first heard that he turned down a 30-year. Sorry, 30
for 40.
Yeah. Yep. When I first heard, before the 40 part broke, I heard the 30 that he turned down the 30-year mil down. I was like, oh, cool. He wants to take something cheaper, help out the Cowboys. Sweet, what a good guy. Then the next day or two, I found out that he wants 40. I was like, no, absolutely not. Why would you do that?
Because hopefully you half it in the middle at 35. No, seriously. I mean, hey,
he's not worth that. He had a great rookie year.
I get it. I'm just trying to maybe give you a thought process.
He had Dez. He had a couple other good guys. He had Witten still. Give it, Witten is now back with a team. Now he struggled his second year. Third year was kind of meh until they got Cooper in that trade.
Mm-hmm.
Then he did pretty well. I just think that he's kind of he's a mediocre quarterback that's probably, if you want to go 1 through 32, he's probably right in the middle.
Okay, well,
but he's not worth that much.
Just hope that. What's the option?
Give you 15 year or a 15 mil a year.
Ooh, 15 years. Huh?
Lifer. I give him $15 million a year. Not 30 or 40. You nuts.
All right, we're gonna see what happens. Hey, real quick, since you are one pride. What do you think about we go from your Dallas Cowboys to your Detroit Lions. Give me 30 seconds on the Lions so far from what you're seeing.
From the Lions, what I've seen, Barry Sanders is back. Herman Moore is
there we go.
Herman Moore is back. We got Megatron. He's back in camp. We got that
I'm
big
looking outside for tornadoes taking me to odds. Here. What's going on?
I really don't know much.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. They're Detroit. They always seem to find a way to F it up.
Find a way to F it up for Minnesota as well, too.
Honestly, definitely. But I'm just saying in terms of a season as a whole, you got a quarterback out there. You're going to have to make some decisions on here pretty quickly, too, because old Matty's coming towards the end of his reign, I think. And, stay tuned if you're out there in Ford's Field, I guess, man.
I got something for you.
Oh, boy, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
This coming from CBS Sports. Vikings have reportedly placed former first-round receiver on a trade block after multiple disappointing seasons.
Of course, yeah.
Who that guy is?
Well,
Treadwell, we just talked about him.
Well, I mean, it's okay, so it may
really
be kind of
news.
It's really not, but yeah, I mean, the thing is that how much money he's going to be owed, how much the Vikings owe, and what round draft picks are we talking for him? And you just hope that the ever-popular Minnesota curse doesn't happen where yet another player leaves here and goes and
no matter what team it is.
blossoms somewhere else. Exactly. He could go play for Detroit and all of a sudden now he's making Pro Bowls or something, right?
He could.
But yeah, no, that's not shocking by any means. So just kind of keep your eye on it. Let's see what happens.
I agree. That's funny, though, that we literally talked about it
and there it is, CBS Sports.
Brought it to you.
Well, because they're listening.
They must be somehow in some way. As of now, do a quick score check for the Minnesota Twins. If you are listening on 8/14, which you probably already know the score by now, Twins are down 6-5 in the ninth. So do something.
Please
do something.
2 outs.
Jesus. Well, if it's Justin's not here, what is your final word for today?
Win. As in win Twins, win Vikings, but primarily the Twins and my other team, the Cubbies.
Do something is my final.
That's
do something.
2 words, but...
Well, yeah,
but I hear you.
Right.
We should change that from word to maybe phrase or something.
Yeah, let's do that. Next week we'll go phrase. Do something. Okay, well, I guess that's it. I mean, thanks to the writers, producers, on-site engineer, otherwise known as all of us. Well, both of us, not all of us. Both of us. It's been a Geffre production. I guess, in the words of Red Green, keep a stick on the ice. We'll see you back, not next week, because somebody's gone.
The sports governor will be in the great city of we call New York, hanging out with the wife. Stay tuned there. Wife,
we'll see.
Yeah, well, there's going to be some very, very fun pictures posted. But,
nice.
But yeah, so there may be a show next week. It'll be sans Vince Wright, but stay tuned. Or will Geffre do it by himself?
I hate doing shows by myself. My shows are so damn boring. They're so damn quick.
Come on.
At least when I did it by myself, Aiden was here, and he actually gave me some insight. Kind of. More than I would have given my own self.
That was great. That was
pretty good. All right, well, again, we'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good weekend.
You like that? You like that? Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Minnesota!
Probably sit around and cook some soups and eat bread and desserts and just get all fat and sassy.
Nice. That was good. This is fun.
This was fun.
Good, wholesome fun.
Play song.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of the time I ran away from home.
When was that?
Last night, the wife was driving me crazy.